O Show. This is the Big 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 O.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Jamming, I wanna jam it with you. Jamming, and I wanna like jamming too. Yo, this is Steve Marley, yo. And on May the 4th, I'll be in Immokalee at the Seminole Casino Hotel with the legendary Inner Circle. See, we see you there. Rastafari love. And I'm jamming with you, yeah. Jamming, yeah. And I'm jamming too, yeah.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. Hope all is well out there. Hope you guys are doing all right. By the way, I need a heads up to make sure that the chat is all good, that you guys are hearing me. I mean, the audio and all that good stuff. If you can hear me, tell me, because I want to know. We're getting close. My boy Jared Verse just went off the board right now. So we are waiting to see the 20th pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers is about 5 minutes off. And then Miami is at number 21. We will keep you updated on any possible trades or anything going on right now. So far, Tyler Guyton is there. Graham Barton is there. Darius Robinson is there. Chop Robinson is there. Jackson Powers Johnson, Jordan Morgan, Johnny Newton. I can tell you this, as far as I know, there's a couple of guys that they like, and they're still there. So that in itself is actually a positive right now that they do have a couple of guys. And by the way, I just want to mention Rams. I hate you. Okay. Pick is in for the Steelers. So the Dolphins are now on the clock. All right. So, we will see what is happening with the Dolphins, and hopefully we may have some breaking news for you here. You just never know. But the Dolphins are on the clock right now. The Steelers. Let me see, because it's usually been coming out before it gets to what's it called? Let's see. What else do we have here? Trying to see if we know who the Steelers took, if it's been broken already, because usually they do break it. Let's see. So far, I have not seen it. They got Fontano. Okay. All right, there we go. Latu went a lot earlier than I thought, man. I thought Latu would last a little farther to us. You know what I'm saying? But Jared Verse lasted a little longer. So Troy Fautanu went to the 20th pick overall to the Steelers. A very good pick overall. So that's not bad. I am trying to see if we get any word on what the Miami Dolphins are going to do here with the 21st pick in the NFL draft. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, because we are waiting as Steelers just took the tackle, Fontanu. If Miami wants to take a tackle, they can take Tyler Guyton now. They can take Graham Barton now. I'm sure maybe they're taking phone calls, and if maybe somebody that wants to just trade up to that spot. See, all the quarterbacks are gone. So it kind of, you kind of lost a little bit there. Now somebody may want Cooper, the Iowa corner, so they may move up to get him. There's a couple of corners that are still available right now that people could move up for. If Miami thinks that Graham Barton's going to last a couple of more picks, then maybe that's what they do. They drift a little bit more down, So we'll find out what happens here with the Dolphins at number 21. So far, I haven't seen anything come across the wire for the Dolphins pick, and I know this for a fact. Okay, for a fact, they do have a couple guys they like a lot, and they're still on the board right now. So the question is, do we feel like any of those guys are going to last a couple of more picks? Do we move down, at that point? Swap first and get a third and a fourth. Listen, I'm not going to play fantasy GM here in the middle of the draft. I have no idea how far you're moving down, what team, what do they want? Because sometimes if you have some of the last premium players left in the draft, then you might end up, saying, okay, well, listen, if you want Kool-Aid McKinstry really badly, the Alabama kid, which is another guy, Enos Rackstraw, I think is the kid's name, is another guy that's out there with Cooper DeJean and all that. So maybe if you want one of these top corners that are available, okay, you're gonna have to pay us. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I am not seeing anything so far with the Miami Dolphins. And see, 80 Dances says trade back, please. We'll see. I mean, listen, if anybody can trade, if anybody's willing to move, come on, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's better at wheeling and dealing right now than Chris Greer. This guy is a wheeler and a dealer. Okay. By the way, I'd be remiss If I did not do this, it'd be wrong. If I did not do this, Florida Panthers. Okay. I mean, that's why I started with Perdomo there, because I wanted to give the Florida Panthers a victory cigar, dude. That was strong. That was mighty, mighty strong. They beat Lightning today 5-3. They're up 3-0 in that series. Okay. That's crazy shit. That is crazy, crazy stuff. By the way, I was glad. I was pissed that May went to the. I like May. Okay. Some of you may not like Drake May. I like Drake May. I hated that he went to New England. I was really glad that Brock Bowers did not go to the Jets. I don't really care if he went to the Raiders. That's fine. I didn't want to see him with the Jets. I am not happy about the Drake May thing, because I think that the Patriots actually, I think they got the better out of the two guys between him and Daniels. But we'll see. Maybe Jaden is better, and who knows, man. In the end, it's a fishing expedition right now. Let me see what else. Am I seeing anything so far? No. And this is dragging a little bit with the Dolphins, which is telling me we could be talking about a trade. Okay, because this is kind of we're already getting close to saying the pick is in. So you figure, why wouldn't they say the pick is in already? Because I'm kind of looking at this going, wait a minute, you're only getting 10 minutes and they've wasted quite a bit already on this. And I'm trying to get the idea here that there is actually maybe a trade. Let's see. Dolphins, 3:30 left, it says there. Okay. So 3:25 and counting. But it's dragging, although maybe Chris is taking it to the end to see if he gets the deal he wants to move down, because maybe he only moves down a spot or 2 or 3 because he doesn't want to move too far down, because he still wants to stay in play for the guys that they like. So if they like 2-3 guys there, they want to stay within those picks, and they got to also assess, okay, who are the teams coming up behind us? What do you think they need? So maybe they can drift to 4 or 5 because they think some of these other guys may be taking corners or something like that. And so then that you're going to have an opportunity. So far, I have not seen anything yet. I haven't seen any breaking news on anything right now. I'm kind of getting this feeling, folks, when it's getting this, we're at 2:30 right now. The thing is, when we're talking about Chris Greer, we're talking about Trade City. It's like you can't feel like comfortable that you're going to take the pick, because that the wheeler and the dealer is, Chris Greer. So he's going to be making some moves. Let's see. I am waiting. Pick is in for the Dolphins. All right. No trade. All right. I'm waiting. How come I haven't seen anything cross the wire? Have you guys seen anything? I haven't seen anything. Normally it gets here before. Wow. They kept it on the down low. I still have not seen anything. Have you guys seen anything yet? And Trey Tua. Let's see. I have not seen anything yet. It's Fuad Reves. There you go. The Fuad Squad. I have not seen anything. They say the pick is in. Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson goes 21 overall. That is pretty good. That's a very good player right there. They got themselves a nice pass rusher, dude. I like it. I love it. I wanted a defensive player. Chop Robinson is definitely a good one. That is absolutely awesome. I love it, because now you got Chop and you've got Shaq, and now you're going to get back Jalen. You're going to get back Chubb. This kind of sets you up. This gives you a rotation. We feel a lot better. Remember, I told you the Brooks move was made for Josh Allen. And so you got to also go out and get some pass rushers. And now you can come at waves at Josh Allen. And so now you've got Chop along with everybody else. Absolutely love it. Love it. Excellent pick by the Miami Dolphins to get Chop Robinson. That is a fantastic pick by Miami. Love it. Let me, just so we can, if you want me to read the Chop Robinson draft overall, if you guys want that, I can give it to you. But Chop is a kid that's got great motor, dude. Great motor, a hard worker. So you get a guy that is going to be an absolute badass and big too. On top of all of that, that's the other thing that I like about Chop Robinson. Well, listen, in this system, you want guys that are going to bring it. He's 6'3", 254 overall. What else can we tell you? Anyway, Chop Robinson, Penn State Lions, imposing presence on the edge, has marked his territory in collegiate football landscape with remarkable achievements and a steep progression in his play, originating from Gatlinburg, Maryland. Whatever. Anyways, so this kid has been an absolute monster overall, and he is still like kind of scratching the surface. Like a lot of these guys that you're getting out of it's not like they're finished products. Although the Latu kid has got moves like a veteran. It reminds me a lot of the wide receiver, this idiot from the Bills that got just moved. When he came out of school, his route running was already top notch. You know what I'm saying? This kid is work ethic. This kid is engine. This kid is athlete. He's just got to grow into it. But I love the fact that now you don't have to actually put a ton of pressure on Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb overall. Now these guys can actually, not that they were going to take their time, but if you only have Shaq Barrett, then you're going to kind of struggle. Okay, because he's really a part-time player at this point. And then you're going to count on some other younger guys that probably are untested. So spend the first rounder. Look, we talked about this for weeks now, but especially in the last week and a half, you got to get an O lineman or a D lineman. We talked about this over and over. The stupidity of wide receiver, the worthy kid, that's moronic shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? The Penix stuff, the wide receivers, that's stupid. The Dolphins window is now. You had to get an O lineman or a D lineman. Okay? And because of the run, you had 14, right? 14, the first 14 picks were offense. 6 of them were quarterbacks, which was a beautiful thing for the Dolphins. This pushed defensive players back. So now you're going to have a run on defensive players. And let me tell you something, for tomorrow, you still have a chance to add an offensive guard, or, which is what, they kind of really need this year more than anything. They're kind of set at tackle, all right? They're kind of prepared to get through the season without drafting a tackle. That's why I told you either had to get a lineman, O lineman, interior, you had to get a pass rusher or a D tackle. And in the second round where Miami picks tomorrow, you're going to have an opportunity to get a couple of D tackles. You're going to have an opportunity to get a couple guards there. Okay. Now, if they want to get a little crazy and they want to get a safety, well, then, maybe they do something along those lines. But one of the things that I kept telling you is this worked out beautifully for the Dolphins. They filled out their roster after the losses. Incredible. The only thing they didn't replace was Wilkins. But if you could get yourself like, the rogue kid that I like in the second round, then all of a sudden you get yourself a defensive tackle that you can start to groom and you're replacing Wilkins. And I think you did a marvelous job with Fuller. He's an upgrade over X. Jordan Brooks is an upgrade over Baker. You made improvements in certain areas in free agent after all the panic in the first day. And then the way you set yourself up in free agency forced you that you had the luxury. Well, it gave you the luxury, not forced you, but it gave you the luxury of picking whatever the hell you wanted to do here. And then these idiots, because I got to call them idiots, picked 6 quarterbacks before Miami chose. I think maybe 2 guys make it out of the 6. I'm going to go Caleb and Drake May, and everybody else fails. We'll see. But I'm going to go. I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad these dumbasses took McCarthy and Penix and all that. Go for it, dude. Knock yourselves out, man. That was absolutely awesome that they did that. That was fantastic for the Miami Dolphins. And then to have the free agency to then go with this draft. Now you got Chop Robinson, which really helps you overcome the defensive end deficiency that you may have early on as you're trying to bring back Phillips and Chubb. And this allows you to bring them back at a pace. Like, oh man, we need you back. We have no pass rush. Well, hopefully Chop can make a quicker transition and can help out with Shaq. You know what I'm saying? So I think, again, some of you may not like Chris Greer and Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie. I'm not that guy. I'm a enormous fan. I think these guys have done an awesome job, to be quite honest. So I think that they have, and this whole thing about it's a rebuild or a take. No, dude, they can be better than they were last year. All they have to do is stay healthy, because that's what stopped them the last 2 years is health more than anything else. And McDaniel, but more than anything is the health. If they get some luck with health this year, which they have not had for 2 years, so that was a beautiful move. Remember, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, compliments. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin donation. Greg, thank you, my man. As always, incredibly supportive of the show. I appreciate you with a super chat. Oh, just watch some Chop highlights. Damn, this kid is massive and can play. Yes, big, fast, strong, engine, character, all of that. Okay. And by the way, he doesn't have because I know, I was saving this in the holster. Okay. Because there's certain guys that if they take them, then you're saying, well, wait a minute, you took Latu. He's an injury risk. He has the neck thing. You know what I'm saying? You took Johnny Newton. He's got the Jones fracture. You took whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there are a couple guys that have some injury history. And that's going to happen with a lot of players. But I was waiting for the narrative that if they took Latu, oh, there goes Greer again. He took a guy that has an injury history. And I love Latu. So was it a Greer thing? But, I would have been called a homer. Oh, well, he's just like, he likes Latu because he's a homer for Greer. But he's an injury-prone player. Well, I would have taken Latu. I have no problem taking Latu. I've watched that guy play. He's a man-child. He's a man-child. Love him. But, and maybe he does stay injury-prone. Who knows? Maybe Michael Penix, who's had a shitload of injuries, stays injury-prone. Who knows? You just never know. Some guys have a streak of injuries, and then they just put them away and never do it again. And they get lucky. Or they just went through a string of bad luck. So, Let's see. We can trade for Debo. Yeah, that's some stupid shit. What else? I don't know how the Dolphin fans can hate the pick. Oh, I don't know why people are hating it. Well, I mean, you always have people that are never going to be happy with something. Robinson's tape is better than his statistical production as he ran the second fastest 40-yard dash, and the edge defenders at the combine this year had great upside. I'm telling you, I like this kid. I have no problem with this pick. He's a pass rusher. I like him. He's got a great motor. Too much of a potential pick, which is dangerous because I'm getting Charles Harris now. Whatever, bro. I mean, that's just. Let me just pick a bad guy. So you're not getting Jalen Phillips vibes? You can't get Sealer vibes? You can't get good vibes. You can only get bad vibes. That's because you're negative naturally, my brother. Not for anything else. There's no reason to feel negative about Chop Robinson. It's a damn good player. And a lot of pros will tell you, scouts will tell you they like Chop Robinson. No doubt. Thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Very nice of you. He's happy with the pick. What else? Adam Outdoor Bushcraft. I hate to disagree, but I have to say the way I see it, Greer and the rest of his crew always pick someone that either has injury pass or either injury pass or injured. It doesn't matter. There you go. See what I'm saying? Let's see. Too many drafts have gone by without addressing the O-line. Well, they may address it tomorrow because tomorrow it's a guard area. There's a couple of really good guards that you can get tomorrow. So that's, we'll see. And guards are drafted, top 5 rounds. You can get a guard and Owanesu or whatever, that guy that New England just re-signed. I love that guy. I saw him at the East West Shrine game out of Michigan. And he was taken super late. I want to say like a 5th rounder for New England. And or 4th rounder or something. And they've re-signed him. So you can develop linemen all throughout. So I'm not so hung up on that yet. You are correct to a certain extent, right? But they have found Kendall Lamb off the street to help him out. They're developing Keon Smith off the street. Okay. So they have added. Wynn was playing really well off the street. So they have added a couple of guys that they've had some actual good fortune with. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you offset those draft picks with some other guys. The Eichenberg pick and Austin Jackson. Obviously, those have been in development stages. Jackson came through. Eichenberg's kind of coming through, but not fully yet. So it's one of those deals. And then Hunt came through. It's just now he moved on because you're not going to pay him the $20 million. Let's see. What else do we have? How do you get drafted in the first round with only 4 sacks? That doesn't necessarily mean that it's all on you, my man. You got to look at the tape. Sometimes it depends on how he was used. Might have had a lot of pressures. You got to look at the tape. You could never have enough pass rushers, and we play Josh Allen twice. This is a kid that'll grow, man. He's green still. When I watch him on tape, he has way more athleticism than Jared Odrick. Jared Odrick was he could not move like Chop can. Chop has better movement along the line than Jared Odrick. Jared was more of a power rusher type. Okay. This kid actually can mix it up. He's got some speed to his game, man. I like him. We'll see. And enough scouts like him. So enough of the people that I talk to like him. So I'll go with the pros that get paid for this shit. One of the most feared pass rushers in the Big Ten, Robinson, commanded attention last year on Penn State's elite defense. Robinson picked up only 4 sacks and 7.5 tackles for losses in 10 games. This team likes Eichenberg more than the fans do. Yeah, well, Eichenberg actually got better last year, and then he was injured while he was playing on the back end. So he really couldn't really get to show his wares. I trust them. They're the ones that have developed the line and developed almost all these players. They get something out of all of them. And they liked Austin Jackson. See, here's the thing about that theory. Here's where you sound incredibly stupid on the Eichenberg thing, just so you'll know. Just so you'll know that you sound like a complete fucking dumbass, okay? Because nobody liked Austin Jackson and like Eichenberg. And then Austin was able to stay healthy and then turn the corner. Eichenberg actually was turning the corner, but he got injured. So you got it hurt the guy. But if they believe in him and they got more out of Isaiah Wynn than New England could, they've gotten more out of Kendall Lamb than anyone else could, right? So if they believe in Eichenberg, brother, they know a lot more than you. You're actually really stupid for questioning them. The guy you hated because you hated Austin Jackson, you phony, just like you hate and don't believe in Eichenberg. See, you guys, man, you think you're going to come on the show and sneak something in there and you're not going to get called out. If I catch you on the chat board, I'm going to call your stupid ass out. Oh, they like Eichenberg more than the fans. Well, the fans are fucking morons. How do you like that? Because we didn't like Austin Jackson, and they turned him around. Kendall Lamb couldn't play like this for no one. But guess how he's playing for these guys? You know, be careful. Say something stupid, and we'll trip you up here on the show. Fans like Eichenberg more. Yeah, right. That's who you want to go with. The fans. Really. The fans. So, anyway. I think people that don't like the pick probably live in the South and don't watch Big Ten football, know nothing about him. I live in Pennsylvania, see him a lot. He's raw but legit. Yeah, dude, you watch him, and there's a lot there to like, dude. There's a lot there to like. He'll grow. He's got great attitude, too. Not a lazy guy. That's what you worry about. You worry about, the Daryl Gardner thing. Some of you may be too young for that. Who's lately the guy that was drafted that had a motor that was questionable? I'm trying to remember if there's one lately. But Daryl Gardner was one of those guys that could just absolutely explode everything at any moment. And then there are moments where he just absolutely disappeared and they were running on him, pushing him aside, doing nothing. And you're like, where's Daryl Gardner? One of those kind of deals. Like, yo, man, where is Daryl Gardner? And you know that when Daryl Gardner wants to play, you're not going to stop him. He's going to push you aside, cast you aside, and just blow the whole play up. If he wants to do it, he can do it. But motor was a problem for him. Right? It's not a problem for Chop. And I understand some of you may say, well, his production wasn't enormous, this, that, all that. But the problem is that if you take it that his production wasn't enormous, but then his motor also isn't a great motor and his character isn't, now you're kind of really taking a chance. Like Jason Pierre-Paul had 1 year at USF. He was a 1-year wonder. And this happens at times. Some guys, you take a chance, and they're 1-year wonders, or they haven't played enough football. The Mark Sanchez thing, he had played only like 15, 16 games, and he didn't really have a lot of reps. So a lot of people were kind of worried, and that was something to be worried about down the line. But you want to make sure that at least if you're going to take a developmental player, take one that has character and is going to want to work. And Chop's a good kid, man. So from everything, I haven't heard anything bad about Chop. And if he's a good kid and has a good motor, then you can work with that and you can develop that. You know, it's kind of the way it goes. I'm sure Zach Sealer wasn't necessarily the most polished player. That's why you were able to steal him off the practice squad from the Ravens. And then you can develop him and he ends up turning into a heck of a player. Now, that's a free agent, not a first round pick. So, so I get it. But I have, because I talked to a few NFL guys that love him, I have no problem with the pick because I'll trust the people that I talk to. Okay. I can't tell you that I watched every Penn State game. I watched the highlights. I watched some stuff, but I also talk to people that actually cover them. I actually talked to a scout that covers that entire region and that conference, and he loved him. He loved him. His team was just a little bit outside, and he thought that he may drift to them in the 20s. He thought there might be a chance because Miami got him, at 21? So they were thinking he'd go somewhere right around there, right before or right after. And they liked him. So, still blown away. We cannot fix this O-line. Well, they was injured too last year. It actually played. Yeah, they were one of the best offenses in the NFL last year. They rushed for a lot of yards. They could have rushed for more, actually. You make it sound like this is the offensive line of like 4 years ago. Some of you really don't sound very smart. You know that, right? Connor was injured. Then Eichenberg, his backup, was injured. Then Isaiah Wynn got injured. Teron Armstead got injured. Like, you think the line is bad, but the line actually wasn't that bad. It's just it was so injury riddled by the end of the year that there was no way it was going to perform. And guess what? Most offensive lines, if they're missing several players or your backup center's already playing injured on one leg, you're not going to play well. But it sounds kind of stupid that you make it sound like your line is completely broken when it's actually not broken. It's actually not that bad. It's not great, but it's not as horrible as it was 3, 4, 5, 8 years ago. Those were bad. I don't know. Cuban much? You exaggerating? Because I know I saw these running backs run for a lot of yards. I saw the quarterback throw for a lot of yards. They were kind of injury riddled at the end of the year, but it's not as bad as you make it out. Not great, but it's not what it's been in the past. I'm sorry. So, Finn's O-line coach has done a really great job. I'm confident more than ever that he can coach anyone up. I mean, doesn't he prove it to you constantly? Chop already has Miami vibes to him. He was coached by Manny Diaz. When you pick players that have been injury-prone, players that break, then problem is Greer can't draft. Yeah, I know. That's why this is our best roster here in like 30 years. Let's see. Juan says, man, Big O might claim, but we all know that this is Greer's big-time lack of O-line, lack of another failure. Whatever, man. The beauty is if they get luck and they stay healthy and they have a lot of success, I'll never hear any of you cowards ever say anything about Greer and say you were wrong. It's like the phony with Eichenberg. That dude right there, that's most of you. That's most of you. That's you, Juan Castillo. That's you, bunch of phonies. The same moron. Oh, the fan base doesn't like Eichenberg. They didn't like Austin Jackson either, dumbass. But, conveniently, he leaves it out. It's come on, bro. Go find somewhere else where you can play with somebody stupid or something like that. But stupid people get crushed here. That's all. Stupid people get crushed here. We've been to the playoffs the last 2 years with an injury-riddled team. If they actually stay healthy, you could start winning playoff games. The quarterback's been in the MVP race the last 2 years. Okay? We've had a team that actually has been playing really well up until a bunch of injuries. This has kind of been the best stretch of football if it wasn't for bad luck for us. And if you think Greer and company are terrible, I can't tell you how freaking stupid you sound. When you see the Ireland and the Spielmans and the back end of Shula and the stupid things that Jimmy Johnson did constantly. While he built a defense, he destroyed completely the offense. And Wanstead and all that. Like, we had no hope. We just need for this head coach to actually grow up a little bit and some luck at the end of the year, and it would be a lot different. I actually don't understand that. But I don't understand it because I'm a lot smarter than most of you. But I do understand it because I do understand that generally fans don't know what they're watching. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I know I live off you guys, but I'm not going to bullshit you. A lot of you don't know what the hell you're watching or talking about because I see it on the chat board. Constantly. I see it on the chat board. So I know that there's a lot of you that know nothing pretty much about what you're watching. And you prove it to me on a consistent basis. Like the Eichenberg guy. But that's all right. So, no need to move up people. Finns need more, not less draft capital. Yeah. Big O, I'm so sick of the negativity from this so-called fan base. Well, because you have a lot of them firemen that aren't very smart. It's kind of what it is, bro. And dumb people like to run their mouths. And then dumb people get exposed for being stupid. So it happens a lot. That's kind of how it goes. And this is in every fan base. This isn't a Dolphin thing. Okay? Unless you're like in Kansas City that you're on a roll and everything's, beautiful right now and all that. You have very few. But when, your franchise hasn't had a lot of success and you have a lot of frustration, you have a lot of stupidity that kind of airs. So that's kind of how it is. And every fan base has it, bro. Everyone has it. So don't be surprised that you've got people that have zero clue what's going on. Big O, I would have picked the best cornerback. Can't have enough corners. Remember Eli Apple. Troy, I understand the reasoning. See, at least, Troy, you are a smart person in the sense that it's a passing league. So you've got to deal with that, and you can't have enough corners. Dude, you're 1,000% right about that. But this is the year where everything worked out for you. 6 quarterbacks were taken before you went. 14 offensive players went. And it really sets you up to get a good defensive lineman. And I think it kind of behooves you because you really desperately needed a D or an O lineman. A D tackle, a pass rusher, a tackle, guard, maybe even center guard or something like that. I love your thinking, my brother. Okay? Corners are like, I don't mind drafting a quarterback every year, every other year. If I have a quarterback, at least I want to draft one every other year. You know what I'm saying? In a case like this, I probably draft one in the third day so I can compete with my backups. But corners, I would draft all the time. And I think Greer is that guy. I think Greer thinks like you do. But because you don't have a third and a fourth, it really screwed everything up. So I love your mind on it because you are right. Okay? You can't draft enough corners. And in today's NFL, you can't draft enough receivers, by the way. That's the other thing that you should be drafting. So I got you. And quarterbacks, you should be drafting, if you don't have one every year, if at least you have one at least every other year, you need to be taking a stab at something, third day or late second or something like that if you already have your franchise, but you should be taking steps. So I am 1,000% with you, except this year, because of the desperate need on both lines. And it worked out for the Dolphins that they still could have taken an offensive lineman or the pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with you. I just disagree in this year's scenario, unfortunately. Big O, I'm living my nightmares with your call. What you call out our next GM, our ex-GM. Oh, yeah, those were bad days, bro. When you have the best cornerback in the league, you usually win a Super Bowl. Yeah, well, you still need your offensive line to get healthy. You know what I mean? Now, ask the Kansas City Chiefs. They have the best quarterback in the league, in the world, and they got their asses handed to them because they didn't have an offensive line. So it doesn't really matter. You don't win because you have the best corner. You win because you have the best team. You don't win because you have the best quarterback. You win because you have the best team. You guys, again, you don't know what you're watching when you say shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You had Madison and Surtain along with Zach and then JT. You had one of the all-time pass rushers of all time, one of the best defensive tackles in Tim Bowens. You had one of the great linebackers. 2 out of the 3 players I've mentioned are Hall of Famers. And you had 2 great corners. How come you didn't win a bunch of championships? You see how your theory is fucking stupid? Because you didn't have an offense. Again, too many of you are watching, but you don't know what you're watching. Just like that guy right there. Yeah, no, we're going to have a great corner, and then, yeah, we win the Super Bowl. You forgot it's a team game or something? Well, what do you think this is, college basketball, that one person's going to carry you or something? What do you think this is? Dumbest thing in the world, that you think the quarterback carries you or a corner carries you or a wide receiver or a defensive end. Dumb. We had Marino. Didn't win. We had Madison and Surtain. Didn't win. You want to keep going? Oh, we don't have the quarter. No, we had the quarterback. We didn't have the team, right? Trace Armstrong was there for a little bit, and then it was Kenny Mixon, Lorenzo Bromell, Adewale Ogunleye. It was a rotating door, my man. He was only there for a couple years. Remember, he got signed by Shula, and then he was, I think, one year with Jimmy, maybe, and then he left to the Raiders and got that contract. Yeah, he left to the Raiders. And he still owes me $1,000 from a bet. So when you see Trace Armstrong anywhere, tell him, hey man, how come you haven't paid Big O in Miami? You owe him $1,000. Canes Gators. My favorite thing in the world is betting sports with athletes. They're the worst. They use el corazón all the time, okay? I will school 99.9% of athletes in bets. School them. In their own sport, I will school them. Okay? Done it several times. Why? Because I know they're emotional, bro. They have no objectivity almost at all. They'll bet because they like the coach or they like these players or this, that, and or their alma mater or whatever it was. And so, yeah. So when you see Trace Armstrong, okay, call his ass out. Tell him, yo, man, you bet with Big O and you owe him $1,000 and you haven't paid him? You just left town, went to go get money from the Raiders and you didn't pay him? What's up with that? So there you go. There's your Trace Armstrong story for the night. He owes me. Okay. Paul Wickham. Thank you, sir, for the love in the super chat. Fan base like Coach Campbell, but Steve Loss hired a coke addict. Oh, man. Big O, these people are complaining are the same people who jump on the bandwagon when the team and the players are suddenly have. Yeah, I know. They're all phonies, bro. They're all phonies. None of them ever chime in when they're wrong. They throw stuff out there. Spencer O'Neill, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says, Big O, I agree with you on Eichenberg. I trust the team and not the fans. I support Eichenberg. I was stating that the fans see him differently. I trust the team, thus the chop pick. There you go. Thank you, Spencer O'Neill. Appreciate you. Very good. I like it. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, just like Spencer did. You can send it in, send your questions, comments, and, of course, you can make a Bitcoin donation, which we always love our Bitcoin donations. Nothing better than a Bitcoin donation. Can't believe I watched this for 3 hours to watch this pick. You watch this? You can't watch this for 3 hours, bro. I have not been on for 3 hours. I've been on for, I don't know, half hour maybe. I haven't been on very long. The Dolphins window is now. Big O's delusional. Well, that's the facts. And it'll close in a couple of years. Big O, I'll call you out, Trace Armstrong, for you. In return, you reward me with the 1K in Bitcoin. Too extreme. I wouldn't reward you with anything except my foot in your ass. That's the reward that I would give you. My foot in your ass. 1,000 times. John Rouse is in the house. Mike Suarez says, I learned my lesson. Could care less what the Dolphins do in September. Let's see them win big boy games in December. No one can argue with Mike Suarez. He's right. He's right. Dude is right. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, I'll tell you you're wrong. And when you're right, he's right. A-Rod, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Some in this fan base remind me of the movie Ship of Fools. Yes, definitely. Yes. There's no doubt about that. Steven D. Felipes, Greer will use a 2025 pick to trade up into the second round. I mean, who can argue with you on that? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a good chance that Chris Greer will make a trade because that's what he does all the time. So would I be shocked that he would use a pick from next year to move into this draft if he really likes something or they really like something or Mike McDaniel or Coach Weaver wants something badly? Yeah, no, I will definitely. And the Worthy kid, he hasn't been taken, right? Because, you know, what's with the Dolphins, some Dolphins were biting hook, line, and sinker about Xavier Worthy at number 21. That was pretty funny. Again, fans in general aren't necessarily the brightest bulbs in the chandeliers. You know what I'm just saying? There's a lot of you that just, and you fall for, this is why the media can sell you guys and ladies out there a bunch of crap. Because you all fall for it. And they know that you're going to fall for it. And so since they know you're going to fall for it, they can tell you, oh, well, Michael Penix, or they're gonna draft Xavier Worthy and all that kind of crap. They're going to tell you that. And there's no chance they were going to take him at 21. Why would they take a receiver at 21? You know, a guy told me a couple days ago, he says, oh, well, maybe they're not going to bring back Waddle. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what kind of dope are you on? By the way, let's fill you in on the rest of the drafts so far. Quentin Mitchell, Toledo cornerback, went 22. Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU, went 23 to the Jags. By the way, it was the Eagles that got Quentin Mitchell. Terrion Arnold, the cornerback from Alabama, went to Detroit at 24. Jordan Morgan, that's another Morgan. That's a guy. That's one of those guys that I thought about for them and the offensive line at this point with Barton and those kind of guys that were available. So now they're at the Bucks at number 26 right now, folks. That's what's going on. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Thank you all for the support. Very much appreciated. JIC, can't ever have enough pass rushers. Great show, Big O. Thank you. Canada fan. Thank you, my friend. You know, and again, I'm not going to take anything away from Troy. I love Troy's thinking. Can't have enough corners either. But you got to have pass rushers. You got to have corners. You got to have number one wide receivers. These are things. You got to have your quarterback. You got to have your tackle. These are the 5 positions, man. These are the 5 most important positions. And you've got to have plenty of those kind of guys. And the Miami Dolphins are in a division with Josh Allen. You need to go after this mofo. And as I've told you already for a while now, Jordan Brooks was brought here to be the spy on Josh Allen. He's going to be the thumper because he is a thumper and he's athletic and he's fast, physical, perfect to go after Josh Allen. But you also need to get some pass rushers. And you will get Phillips and Chubb back, but should they carry a regular load? Of course not, ladies and gentlemen. You got to kind of pace them back, not pace them just to health, but then when they're healthy, you need to pace their workload too. You need to build that back up again, kind of like what I'm doing with my foot, my surgically repaired foot, right? I'm working my way back, and they told me it'd take me 6 months before I can jog again, you know, that kind of stuff. Well, I'm working my way the same way. Okay, so you'll get healthy, but then you also got to break in the foot. Well, one guy's got to break in the knee, the other guy's got to break in the Achilles. You don't want to put a major workload on those guys. So you need rotational guys to take that heat off of them. Chop was perfect, dude. Here's the other thing. Chop gets to be around Chubb and Shaq. You know, Jalen's young, so Jalen can still learn from those guys. But that's the other thing. Chop gets to be around Shaq and gets to be around Chubb now. And these are all character guys, too. It's another thing. I like it that you're not really getting a guy that, you know, is a knucklehead or anything like that. I don't get it, man. I just don't understand too much of the negativity at this point in time. I guess I'm one of the few that is incredibly excited about the Dolphins, about the state of the Dolphins, where they're headed. I'm not blinded by the negativity that some of you are. I think if the boys can actually get a little luck and stay healthy, and if Mike McDaniel matures more as a coach, I think Miami can have a great year. A great year. Deep run, playoffs, maybe even Super Bowl. Yeah, I do. I believe that. But they need a couple of things. Graham Barton was taken? Yes. 26 overall right now by the Bucks. Good pick. Good player, man. Versatile. Let's see. I need to know how Chop played against Ohio State and Michigan because we don't need more players who don't show up for big games. Well, go watch the kid, my brother. And Weaver must like him too. None of you draft gurus could not have predicted the draft. All you bullshitters. Thank you. Is it Diane? Excellent text. Let's see. I watched every Penn State game, and this guy can't play. He only produced against bad teams. What a bust. I'd be more excited with the Heat, but that's cool. The Heat? Well, the game was exciting. I don't know if that's real yet. You know what I'm saying? That's, it was one game. It'd be pretty awesome if it's more. By the way, I'm sure most of you have phones and you know what's going on, but if you don't, the Magic beat the Cavs. They beat the crap out of them, 121-83. So now it's a 2-1 series. lead for the Cavs. Magic, of course. Remember I told you in the show, it's the whole thing that Riley says. The series doesn't start until the home team loses a game. And so far, home team hasn't lost anything in that series. Our series is, well, close to over with the Lightning because you won your first two at home and then you won the first one on the road. I don't see the Lightning beating the Panthers 4 straight. The Panthers are looking really good. Knicks, they held serve, and guess what happened now? Sixers won 125 to 114. So now it's 2-1. So if the Sixers win again, we're back to square zero in that one. And that's what Miami's got to do now in order to really create some buzz against the Celtics. You got to start winning at home now. Lakers, by the way, are leading the Nuggets 53-49 at halftime right now. So still early. And Boston won last night. So they're leading in their series 2-1. So for you Panther fans, make sure you're rooting for 7-game series between Toronto and Boston. Okay? So we need Toronto to win next to even it up, and we need them to go to 7 games and kill themselves, and then hopefully the Panthers can eliminate the Lightning on Saturday, and they can sit back and relax. I guess the Bennett thing wasn't that much of a deal, huh? Guess it wasn't too bad that you're missing him. Devin Jordan, thank you for the love on the Super Chat, sir. Very kind of you, Big O. I just hope Chop can make Josh Allen eat dirt. Yes, sir. And Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb and Shaquille Barrett. And, everybody's got to get after this guy. Yes. Big O, did you hear Hendrickson? Yeah, he wants to be traded, but you're not coming here, and they're not going to pay him. That's too much money. They have to pay a lot of people. It's, again, remember how I tell you sometimes the media can sell you bullshit? So a couple of receivers sign contracts, and it's like, oh, well, you got to sign Waddle. No, they don't. They're not going to sign Waddle till next year. There's no hurry. He's under contract, and he's got a 5th-year option. Oh, you got to get it. It's got to happen, right? And then it gets you guys talking about it. And these writers are writing about it, and I'm laughing my ass off. Because it's like, do you guys think you're going to hurry the process up or something? It's cute. It's really cute. No, but I get it. You need something to write about. You need something to talk about on radio because you can't come up with real subjects. So you want to come up with fake things. And then they get the listeners all riled up about it. Oh, my God, Waddle needs Waddle was never going to get a contract now. First, it's Tua. Then maybe next year during the season, somebody, or at the end of next year. But it's next year. That's when Waddle, that's when Holland, that's when these guys will get their contracts. Oh, let me scare you that it's a cap crisis. No, it's not. You can't sign everybody. Nobody does that. So they're not going to sign this wave. They're going to sign only Tua, and they're going to sign the wave for next year. Like we explained to everybody the big picture. But if they want to keep you in the micro, they can keep you panicked on the short term. And Mike McDaniel saw him run a 4.2. Oh, he's got to have Xavier Worthy at 21. And there goes people reaching out to me left and right because moronic media members, just because they're bored and they got nothing to write about, whoa, he runs a 4.2. Mike McDaniel must want him because he wants everybody with speed. Folks, don't let him lie to you, man. Think. Use your brain a little bit, It's crazy. Big O, would you have been happy if the Finns selected a DT? Yes. Yeah. I had no problem. Yes. I have no problem taking a DT. I know you mentioned Hawkins. Johnny Newton's there. What's it called? Darius Robinson was there. There are guys to be taken. So yeah, I had no. I keep telling you guys there were several players that I liked, offensive and defensive. And the way they designed everything in free agency, again, everybody panicked, and I think they've done an awesome job with their free agency. And Chop is exactly what you needed. So, I don't know. What can I tell you? Okay. What can I tell you? I'm not here. It's kind of like the anti-Tua people. I'm past that already. Like, I'm not here to convince you about Tua. I'm not here to convince you about Chop. I'll tell you what I've heard about him. Great kid, great motor. You can build on him. They love the player. They love the talent. And he is built exactly for what you want that position. So he's prototype. Austin Jackson wasn't a finished product when you got him also. And then he ended up having no foundation because he had no one to really teach him. And so he floundered just like Liam Eichenberg. And then finally you got offensive line coaches, and he got healthy because he had the 1 year with the high ankle injury. And look, you saw the player finally develop. Not everybody comes out of college a polished diamond. You know, a lot of them are coal. A lot of you still got to polish up a little bit, man. You know, I again, kind of don't get it, man. I'm of the ilk that if you're a Dolphins fan, you should be feeling good, frustrated about what's happened the last 2 years. I get it. We're all frustrated. But if you look at the big picture and what's gone on, I think they're building something that, man, if things fall together in place, we're going to have a beautiful season, man. We really are. But it's all right. I'm enjoying it. Okay? I don't need to convince you guys. I'm happy with Tua. I don't need to convince you guys. All right? Mike McDaniel frustrates me, but I still have faith that he'll figure it out. Okay? Love the front office. I think Miami has one of the best front offices in the NFL. Greer, McKenzie, and Allen are beasts. I'm enjoying it for the first time in decades where I think they're headed in the right direction. For many years, I told you this is not going in the right direction. I still believe this is going in the right direction. That's me. What can I tell you? Big O, who will the Dolphins possibly pick in the second round tomorrow? Well, my friend, we will do that tomorrow night when we get closer to the pick and we find out who's off the board. And then we've got a couple of players. Then we'll start talking about that. But right now, look, if you see, the only problem is, would you guys be happy with a complete defensive draft? Right? Because I like Rook Orohoro, the Clemson D tackle. By the way, another guy still green. He's been playing football only since 11th grade when he got here from Nigeria. So he's green still and learning the position, but freakish. So now if you want to get a Christian Hayes, if you want to get a, let me see, Cooper Beebe, the K-State guy, he plays left tackle, left guard, right tackle, right guard. He plays every position except center, kind of the guys that they like. That's the kind of guy. If they want to get, I don't think they'll get another linebacker, but Chris Braswell will go somewhere there. Michael Hall, the defensive tackle. So there's a couple of guys that I like there, but I'm a big Rook guy. So if they can take Rook, then all of a sudden you got a pass rusher and a defensive tackle. I don't know. Some of you may be complaining about that. Was I surprised? Yes. With the quarterbacks, Oscar, I was surprised with a lot of the quarterbacks. I didn't think that J.J. McCarthy and Penix and these kind of cats would go that high. I don't think they should. I think there's a lot of busts there. I think 4 out of those 6 guys are going to be a bust. But I'm glad. I'm a Dolphins fan. I don't care about the other 31 teams. Okay. The other 31 teams can just get lost and go play on the highway if they want, for all I give a shit. I only care about this team. That's it. So I am glad that 6 idiots chose quarterbacks. Fantastic. Only thing that I'm pissed off about is that the Patriots got the guy that I like. Because I'm a Drake May guy. I'm not going to be a phony and tell you, oh, Drake May sucks, this, that. No, I've liked Drake May from the get-go. I think he's got the goods to be an NFL quarterback. We'll see. Maybe I hope I'm wrong now. I mean, I don't. Nobody enjoys being wrong, but this is one that I will take some pleasure in being wrong because, God, I hope the Patriots didn't find a quarterback already. Jesus, that would kind of suck. This draft is stacked with D lineman and OG. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mountain Man. Yes, sir. You got some good info. You've been reading and following up the right people, sir. I'm with you there. Falcon surprise. Yeah, they shocked me with the Penix thing. I think it was stupid. It's getting old, and I hope it changes its tune to reality versus audition for local radio. I'm not auditioning for local. Juan, brother, since when can my show go local radio? They play more politics than they ever have. See, again, Juan, some of you are really stupid and misinformed and all of that, dude. The last 3.5 years, Juan Castillo, just so you'll know, my brother, has been more successful for me than I ever was in radio. I don't know if you know that, I don't know if you know that, my friends, but I could get a job if I wanted to in radio if I really felt like it. Why would you want to get a job when you can work for yourself, control all the content and the sponsors? Do you see all the people on the show? Go to radio. Are they doing all the live spots for all that many? Juan, do math, bro. Follow some of these shows that have no live spots. Business, my brother. There's more than just talking behind the mic. Again, some of you, you're not very bright. One, the part you don't understand is that most of the people on QAM wish they could do what I'm doing. Stand on my own for nearly 4 years. You do know I have a mortgage and cars and I have legitimate bills. It's not like a hobby. You see, there's EJD Construction. One. Here, let me teach you a little business, my friend. See? Perdomo Cigars. See? Hialeah Park Casino. You know what I'm saying? Cutter's Edge Pro. Welton Rayom. KSDT. EJD Construction. Sloman's. That's a national company there, Juan. You know what I'm saying? Caneswear. Top Gun. You know what I'm saying, man? You following me there, my brother? Stephen Marley and the Immokalee Hotel Casino, the Seminole Hotel Casino. We have the Seminole Hotel Casino and we have Hialeah Casino on our platform. Do you think really I want to go to radio? ¿Qué clase come mierda? No. As Abba Hede would say, no. No. By the way, if you want to see Stephen Marley, use our QR code right there. Join me. I'll be out there May 4th with the wife, jamming. Inner Circle will be jamming with them. Yeah, bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? By the way, Inner Circle will be joining me tomorrow on the show, except it'll be pre-recorded, so we'll have it for you. But we will give away a pair of tickets to Stephen Marley. If you can go, remember it's in Immokalee, so it's in northern Palm Beach County. So if you live in Palm Beach or Port St. Lucie, or if you live a little farther but you're willing to drive, then go ahead. Send me your full name, your address, I'm sorry, not your address, your email and your cell number. DM me to my Twitter at Big O Show, and on Instagram and on Threads at Big O Radio Show. DM me your full name, email, and cell number. And if you want to, and tomorrow, I'm picking the winner tomorrow night. So somebody will get the tickets, and I will reach out to you and tell you won, and so on and so forth. There you go. Okay? All right? Audition for... Oh, by the way, Juan, we also pay for producers. We also have insiders that make money off of this show. We also have a production person that makes money off the show. You think I need to go to radio? Huh? Clase come mierda. Again, you talk with zero knowledge, zero intelligence. Learn to actually know what you're talking about before you even talk about it. Okay? Let's see. Chiefs make me fell 100 worse. Oh, yeah. It made me feel worse too, bro. Yeah. I saw we vote to block Juan Castillo. Juan doesn't know the business. Es un fiñe. You know, he's a kid. Nothing. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know jack. So, you know, you run your mouth, but you really don't know. By the way, Caneswear, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off, except for you, Juan Castillo. You will not get 10% off. I already sent in something to Caneswear that if Juan Castillo ever orders anything, to charge you 50% more on everything that's there. Except for Juan Castillo, everyone else, BIG010, you will get 10% off when you go there in person or online. And by the way, online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. Use our code, BIG010. It must be because I'm trying out for radio. Wow. Okay. Let's go. I'm also in Kendall. We can connect live on... You have no smarts, Juan. You already tried it with me. You have no smarts. You tried it, my brother. There you go. Okay? I'm live all over the place. I'll be at Acura tomorrow. I was at Hialeah yesterday. I'll be at Caneswear next Wednesday. I'll be at Hialeah on Thursday. I'm all and about everywhere, bro. I can easily be found. I hide from nobody. Okay? But smarts, you can forget about it. There's no competition there. You have none. You already tried to think that I'm trying out for radio. Anyway, media saying Worthy is the next Reek. See, the problem is, Mountain Man, people are stupid and they believe shit like that. And that's why I kept laughing at everybody that was talking Worthy for the Dolphins. That's just ridiculous. You're going to take a 154-pound receiver in the first round, and you're the Dolphins, and you have a whole bunch of needs. No, you can't do that. We got a line here, a run here. Here we go. Graham Barton went to 26 to the Bucks. The multifaceted lineman out of Duke. Darius Robinson, we talked about him. He's not bad. Missouri. He went to the Cardinals at 27. Xavier Worthy, the perfect team picked him. Kansas City at number 28. That. Remember, we talked about it on the show. The only way you pick Worthy is what? A luxury pick. Kansas City, luxury pick. You need receivers. You need a gadget guy. You need a returner. You signed all your main people. You're coming back. You got the best secondary in the NFL. You got Chris Jones, and you got Mahomes, and you got Kelsey. You're ready to rock. Worthy makes a lot of sense for them. Tyler Guyton went to the Dallas Cowboys at 29. I got to say, that's a pretty good pick for them at 29, man. Nate Wiggins, the cornerback, went to the Baltimore Ravens out of Clemson. So we've got San Francisco and the Bills left to wrap up the first round. Okay? There we go. Dolphins need a red zone wide receiver. No more speed guys. Yeah, the question is Ezukama. I like Ezukama, but he hasn't turned the corner and he had the neck injury, so I don't know how serious it is. But if they don't go for a big, remember they do have Janu, so I would imagine he's going to help some. But if they don't go for a bigger receiver down the line here in the draft in the third day, especially, then that seems to tell me that Ezukama must be making some kind of progress, right? Because it's not like you're hearing any setbacks or hearing anything negative or anything like that. And then they're not really going out and getting a big guy. They made the move the last couple of years with other guys. They brought back Gesicki, didn't use him. They made the move for Chase Claypool. They didn't use him. They had Cedric. They used him a little bit, but not a lot. So either it's not in Mike McDaniel's DNA, which I agree with you, by the way, before you jump on me on this. I think you do need some big targets, especially for Tua. I think shorter quarterbacks, you want to give them bigger targets at times. You don't want an Oompa Loompa quarterback with an Oompa Loompa receiving core. You want to provide some height at times. You know what I'm saying? You don't want Drew Brees just throwing a short receiver, so you give him bigger receivers so he can have some targets, a tight end and a big receiver. And he had a big receiver. What was the kid's name for a long time? He came out of some school in the Northeast, I think it was. What was his name? And he was like a 7th-round pick. And he was a big physical target that could move the chains. And he had that guy for like the first 6-7 years of his career, 8 years maybe. He was a good receiver, good possession receiver. I'm forgetting his damn name now, man. Somebody, maybe you can help me out with that. But you want to give some of your quarterbacks some bigger targets, even taller ones. You know what I'm saying? Well, OBJ is not a tall target. So that one, I think OBJ is waiting for after this draft. I think that's when he signs with somebody. If it's not the Dolphins, it's somebody else that did not make the move. And then they say, okay, well, then let's go after OBJ. Colston, thank you. Thank you. Way to go, Shane. Nice job by you. Colston. Yes. Small school. I forgot what school it was. I want to say it was in the Northeast. Was it Marcus Colston? Is that his name? I want to say. Right? Was it Marcus Colston? Yeah, it was Marcus Colston. And Hofstra. Boom. Okay. So I told you Northeast, right? Hofstra. I knew it. So I remember the kid. And he was a nice big target for Breeze. So I think you want to do that. Look, I got to tell you something. While Tyreek says some crazy shit at times, and I wouldn't bring him in because he's a problem child, the Michael Thomas thing that he threw out there, 1,000% right. 1,000% right. Michael Thomas is the perfect complementary type receiver for Tyreek and Waddle. Big, possession, can handle the middle of the field. Tua's really good at the middle of the field. He would be beautiful. Now, I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him. I don't like him personally. I don't think he's a good person. So that to me is a little bit of an issue. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wouldn't bring him in. But football-wise, what Tyreek is saying is 1,000% accurate. Football-wise. I can't argue with the intelligent part of it. I can only argue with the character part of it, and I would not bring that guy here at all. But Michael Thomas is kind of the player that I would like complementing these kind of receivers. Bigger and possession-like. You have all these speed guys, but you need a guy that has a body and can help you move the chains and, you know, make some tough catches in traffic and stuff like that. So when he mentioned the Michael Thomas thing, I was like, wow, football-wise, it makes sense. It does make sense. Just personality-wise, oh, my God. Lisa says, oh, my God, give Chop, Charles Harris, Deion Jordan crap. Well, that's because they're negative, Lisa. It's, you know, what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do? All right, folks, we're out of here. We thank all of you for tuning in. Those of you that sent in a super chat, thank you very much. Cash App or Venmo, thank you as always. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We'll be live. We'll have David Feronis and Manny Navarro joining us. We'll be live at 10 a.m. at Acura of Pembroke Pines, baby. We'll be having some fun. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend. We will see all of you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.